You do know that I cost less money when I was released. I'm a Voyager class, and I'm bigger than you still.
Hey, I come with these big hands. I'm a leader class. Stay tuned to the end for alternate ways to transform Blitzwing. What is up, everybody? Nick Legostava here, and in this video I'm going to be comparing Transformers Thrilling 30 Blitzwing and the new Legacy Blitzwing. And I also think they re-released this as Generations Blitzwing. I don't know, it's probably been re-released a couple times. But there's also another one that I don't have, and I mean, I definitely don't plan on getting. I don't need another one. Is the, I think Titans Returns Blitzwing. That one almost has another separate problem from both of these. So it's like, all of these have had problems. The newest one nails a lot, but there's definitely some rant-worthy stuff that's going to be in this video as well about him. And some positives and negatives, plus and minuses, of both of these figures, and which one is better. So here we go. Right off the bat, you'll notice that my Thrilling 31 has a 3D printed head just stuck on the front of it, a more accurate head. That's how he's sat on my shelf for a while now, months and months. He's been like that. I literally just 3D printed a head. I had originally planned on just replacing that head, but on the shelf, I literally just put sticky tack on it and put it over the front. I mean, definitely from some angles, that certainly doesn't look right, and you can't really transform him like that, but it just looked better on the shelf, so that's what I went with. But the new one here, he already has the accurate molded head. Let's actually just take that off. And I'm surprised no paint came off with that. I kind of thought it was going to. But a feature that I do like about this Thrilling 31 is the switchable head of the Blitzwing of the animated. So this was kind of like, I think the IDW version of Blitzwing. I just don't like the roundedness of him as much as the boxiness and more G1 accuracy of the Legacy one. And, I mean, of the other one, I think it was almost too boxy. The Titans Return one, that one's like too boxy looking. So it's like they went from this extreme to the other extreme. But then this one nails the G1 look pretty decently. So right here, I'll show you the three different faces here if I can. Let's see. He has that face. That's definitely the animated face right there. And then he has this mean looking face like that. So it's a cool feature. I think for a triple changer, that's a cool thing to have, that he has like split personality. So that's definitely a feature that, I mean, I know he definitely didn't have that in G1, but that would have still been kind of cool to see maybe like a swivel face in there as well. But you don't have that going into the new one. This is also a different line. I didn't have his original accessories besides the missile, which is just in a random box somewhere now, because I did buy this secondhand long before the Legacy one was announced. But we'll get into articulation and compare that among these two. Also, I do have this one transformed a little bit differently for him to look a little bit better and less awkward, because originally you're supposed to have him transformed with his shoulders, and the shoulders on this guy's pretty atrocious. I can't even talk. So that's how you originally would have him transformed. That just looked more awkward, less accurate, and just didn't like it as much. So this, yeah, you do see the screw holes, but to me, it just looks better if you transform him like this. So if you do have this figure and you still want to keep him, make him look a little better, that's a little trick you can do, is that. But in terms of articulation, he has wrist swivel. He has wrist swivel. I mean, I think for the leader class price, that's another thing I have to mention here, is this was a Voyager price point back in the day, which was like, what, 30 bucks? Or was it 25 at the time? Something like that. And now the leader class price, which most people are trying to charge $55 for a leader class now, plus tax still, so $60 pretty much for a leader class figure. But I did wait a little while. I know this has been out for some months, but I did wait a little while, and I did get this for just the regular leader class price, $49.99 plus tax, so pretty much still $45, but after tax, not before tax. So yes, this Blitzwing, like I said, we're going to get into the details here. I know I'm all over this place and sporadic, but I mean, hey, it's a triple changer. He's sporadic. So in terms of articulation, mine is definitely a little bit loose here. My Legacy one, it kind of pisses me off because it's going to be difficult to use in a stop motion when I do, because it's like his joints are just like loose enough in weird spots to where he's kind of floppy a little bit. Like he doesn't want to really stay in a pose, and it's really annoying. And his ankle tilt kind of can't really do too much. Like it can do that, And then if you want it to actually lock in place, it has to go more aggressive. So, I don't know. I might just exchange it for another one and hope I get a better copy. But, yeah, that's besides the point. But even this one right here, he has a little bit of ankle tilt on that ball joint. So, I mean, this one's still pretty well articulated for being an older figure. I mean, he's got all the swivels pretty much in similar spots. I mean, that's a little high up for a knee bend. So he definitely has some longer bottom legs because they have the tank treads on them. But, you know, this one right here, I mean, it's pretty close in articulation. This one doesn't really have a thigh rotation. It's kind of up high there. It's not the middle one right there like they would have you think there's a thigh rotation there, but there's not. And also, another thing to note is it seemed like Siege was kind of doing away when they were doing the Siege stuff of these just the panels flipping up. It's like the Siege Secret mold had that like built into it, so then that whole part would kind of move together. So it's kind of weird that they went back to the panel type things here, especially with the shoulders up here. That just doesn't look as good as if this whole piece swiveled. Like, I mean, yeah, the shoulders on this are atrocious, kind of, because they don't want to clip together when you move them forward. When you move them backwards, it's fine, but when you move them forward, they like to come on tab. But that whole piece rotates on this one. So yes, this is not as visually accurate to G1, but in some cases is a little bit stronger than even their most modern rendition here. And also, it's kind of strange that these panels go up there more. They could have maybe added another thing, since this is leader class, another panel that flips over that goes like inside the arm, and then that would also lock this up a lot better, because it's like you just bump this and it's just flopping all around. I mean, it's a little annoying, especially because you're paying a leader class for something that's literally a Voyager pretty much. I mean, let's see. Here is Voyager Inferno from Kingdom. This is a leader class. That's been the new thing, is the price points, the size classes, they're all blending. You're getting charged more for less. I mean, it's just, it keeps going up and up and up and up. And yes, I'm aware that they're just bending our wallets over in back alleys because they're doing these figures that are decent. They look way better than most mainline figures in terms of accuracy to the shows and movies of their regards. But in terms of price points for them, it's just, wow. We're getting there. We're getting there to the point of madness. But this one also here, this one likes to unpeg pretty easily, this arm, so I got to keep pushing that down. So that's another QC issue I'm running into this. I could have started this out with a rant going, "Rah!" But I don't know. I still like the figure pretty much. So yeah, that's enough babbling in robot mode. I think the only thing this one has in terms of articulation over that is the thighs, or the waist rotation. This don't have waist rotation. That's really the only thing I think that's missing out here. So yeah, there's the fronts, there's the sides. That's another thing on mine. This part is really floppy. You cannot get that to stay in place. That's so annoying to have to deal with this stuff, especially at a leader class price point for a Voyager size figure. Oh boy, yeah, so this is definitely a little bit cleaner on the back. Like I said, I mean, just all in all, this is definitely for accuracy. I kind of like the coloration of this one, though, a little more. This is kind of a lighter purple and a bit lighter of a tan. This is kind of a darker purple, almost like a Galvatron purple. Quick animation model check here. You can see this also, I do know that can transform and have the tank bill be down more, but I thought that was a little more accurate to this. I kind of like it pointing up tall and high there. But yeah, you can see around the back, there's definitely more purple on the animation model on that, but, you know, transformation to the tank. Here are some more size comparisons here. We have Earthrise Starscream, Siege Megatron, and a little Decepticlone, and my custom Red Alert. So there you go. There's some different size classes compared to this leader class figure.
My big stupid hands on it got charged extra for in the package so I could be considered a leader class to come with this accessory that barely even bolts on my hand, because when you do this, they fall off because the pegs are so short on them.
Alright, got these two transformed up into jet mode, and honestly I gotta say this one was easier to transform into jet mode. This one took quite a while to figure out how to get into jet mode. So here's them. I'll just do a roundabout on both of these, and then I'll talk about a different way to transform this and something you could do if you wanted to make it look a little bit better in jet mode and not have most of the tank just overhanging on the bottom. And then I'm also going to compare it to the animation model as well. So this can lock in a little better on here. I just left it like that because I'm going to transform him into a tank in a minute. So yeah. And also this one, this is not his sword, it's his sword, but this one was missing this sword, but it fits in the same spot. And that's supposed to fill this kind of gap here that would be there if that sword was not plugged into that spot. But yeah, they both kind of have the tank bills going out here. I kind of wish this could like push in there more and just stay in. I can't really do that. It's where the missile thing goes. So yeah, there's the roundabout of these. I think the jet mode of these is both the weakest points of both of these. Like, I mean, this is pretty, I mean, from the top, that honestly looks pretty good. For a triple changer, this is almost nailed all three modes pretty well, but jet mode suffers a little bit. Let me show you how to transform this a little bit different to make it a little bit more like an X-Wing style thing and make it look a little bit better than just having the whole tank under there. Come on, pop out there. So yeah, you can untab that and pop those wings out like that. You can kind of have yourself some type of like X-Wing type deal there. So you can have it looking like that, which I mean, it's still not the greatest, but it's a little bit better than just having giant overhang under it that's like, what is all that? So it makes it kind of an X-Wing type deal. So you can do that, or there's a metal pin in here that goes across there, and you could pop that pin out, and then you can make this whole piece removable. So, I mean, that would be parts forming, but that would make it look a little bit better, and then it would really kind of nail all three modes pretty much. So yeah, there's that. Any other things here? Let's compare it to the animation model real quick. And honestly, I have to say the G1 toy probably nailed the jet mode the best. Like, here's the G1 toy. I mean, that jet mode is pretty spot on. So the jet mode definitely suffers in this newest release here. But yes, and you'll see when I get into tank mode, all that other stuff. So yes, let's do that. Let's get these both into tank mode. Okay, got both of these transformed up here, and I think we can already tell which one's the clear winner here. I mean, they've got this tank pretty darn good. I mean, considering how good he looks in robot mode, in tank mode, and he looks decent in jet mode, better than I thought he was going to in jet mode, this is really the best mainline Blitzwing that we've got. It's just sad that it's at the leader class price point, and it's pretty much just a Voyager. And honestly, they could have got us to that point if they didn't put this stupid stuff in the package, if they didn't have to charge us for those giant pieces of freaking red clear plastic that they then also had to paint. I mean, it's just so dumb. And then right here are the accessories that came with this one. This one came with one pistol, the missile for that, and the sword, which, I mean, half of those are in a box and the sword's missing. But yeah, this, I mean, just and some people said the tank was the strongest mode of this back when it came out, but yeah, that's not the best. Look at the back of that. That's, what is even going on there? This, it has those turbines on the back. Freaking turbine powered tank, like it's a freaking Batmobile. Yeah, and this rolls superbly. I mean, look at these. These are the nice pinned on wheels. I've talked about how they just need to do that more and more often, because it just, I mean, look at this. That rolls better than most deluxe cars, and this is a tank. I mean, legitimately, that just rolls great. This has those crappy peg-on wheels, so that, I mean, it rolls all right, but pretty abysmal. One of them seems to be stuck. So yeah, this is definitely a clear winner. And then also the animation model here, why not? You can see that cockpit up front is actually accurate to the animation. There is a way to flip that around, and there's a 3D print piece you can get that just bridges that gap, but you have the head out there instead, and the 3D print piece covers the head and fills that gap. Which, I mean, if you want it to be a more accurate tank, then that's fine too. But I think all in all, that looks really good. You know, you just have that little bit of purple on the side that you don't really have on the animation. The treads in the animation are bigger. So, I mean, with some custom paint apps, I'm definitely going to make that look better. I'm definitely going to pick out in between those treads probably with the purple and the different stuff. But yeah, this one, I'm not going to get rid of this. I'll probably use it for a custom deep off in the future. I know they remolded this into Double Dealer as well. And did they mold it in anyone else? I think just Double Dealer, but it's just a strange tank, honestly. I mean, this spins off kilter there, and then the landing gear kind of blocks it. I mean, I guess I probably could have flipped that landing gear in, but it kind of blocks it from turning well if you don't tuck that away. But I mean, we see the clear winner here. I mean, just look at that. But it is kind of fun when you do have the missile in there and you can actually launch the missile. You know, I do kind of miss stuff like that, but whatever. It's more streamlined here, I guess. This turns nicely on kilter, and you can pop it up if you want to get it to shoot down, get more angles out of it. I know that's not what tanks do in real life, but he is a transformer. He can do what he wants. So there you go. That's my review. That's my thoughts on it. I mean, we already kind of knew that this was going to be better. I mean, just the engineering that's gotten better and better throughout the years. It has gotten better, but people say, oh, the complexity of this is what makes it a leader class. It comes with these other things. It's not. It really should have been a Voyager class. They should have scrapped the giant hand things that are stupid. And honestly, that's what I'd do. So, perfect if it was a Voyager. The leader class price is asking a little much, but he is really good. So you get stuck in a rock in a hard place, but all in all, it's pretty good. So this is drug on long enough. If you made it to the end, tell me in the comments, and tell me what other thoughts you have on these figures. Have a great one. If you're new, watch other videos. Decide if you want to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. Please be sure to drop a like, drop comments. I read them all. Peace. Bye-bye. Big depression! Wait, I have even more to add here. So this was mistransformed. Those do pop down more, and the landing gear does tuck in there. So that can move completely around like that. But that's not what I meant. Right here, something also to really note. I already kind of have some little stress marks in there. I don't know if you can see them on camera. Don't try to put these in the side if yours is too tight. Like, I didn't really push it in there all the way. I just kind of stuck it in there a little bit. But you'll probably have stress marks there just because those holes are kind of tight on the side. If you wanted to really just pop all his accessories on there up top, I mean, that pops in there just fine there. Actually, nope, I'm talking too soon. That's the 5mm pegs on here are pretty freaking tight. So just be careful on that stuff on this. So there you go. Can't forget something that was nearly rant-worthy on transforming this. So to get this out, it's tucked up in there, but it's really hard to get out, especially on my copy. It was like almost like glued in. So it was really hard getting that out. I think the paint had dried kind of on the bottom edge, and it kind of had that, I'm not even pointing at it like a dumbass. It had it stuck in there. I was just fiddling around with these some more and just found some other weird ways to kind of transform them. That one looks a little better like that without the giant things up top. You can kind of tuck them in back. It almost locks in better than the actual thing itself. You just kind of flip the arms around and make it go like that. It's not too bad. It makes most of the jet a little more streamlined and thinner. It makes the back look a little bit stranger, but not too bad. So there's that. And then this, those, if you just wanted those to point forward. Huh, I wonder if something weird's gonna happen. So this is about the best way I could configure the X-Wing configuration on here. I also flipped the tank bill around the front. So if you want to keep it like that, then you can still use his tank. Use the cannon still. So that's pretty cool. Just adding a little bit, trying to fiddle around with it. And maybe improve it a little bit. Here's even another alternate way to transform the Thrilling 31. I mean, you could really play around with that and transform it in some different ways. It makes it look different. And this is exactly what I meant when I was talking about the silver paint drying on the inside there to the actual other plastic. That nose was a battle to get out, and it just got all kind of little scratches on it now, just from trying to get that out. I first tried to get it out with my nail, then I had to go get some type of pin thing to get it, so just be careful on that. Hopefully yours isn't like that. Hey, at least my shoulders stay in place, unlike yours. Blah, blah, blah. Blitzwing, I'm depressed. Blitzwing, I'm depressed. I'm crying.